Idea conception. This first step starts by observing throughout our senses what is around us. This helps us to get to know more the area we want to investigate. Establish the research problem. Now that we have observed what's around us, we have to formulate a question about a specific problem. The more detailed, the better. Complete a theoretical framework. Before experimenting on our own, we have to find out all the information that exists about the subject we chose. This helps the research know what kind of experiments have been done with this subject before and what conclusions they have reached. Define the type of research. Once we've read all about our topic, we have to start thinking about the experiment and the approach we need in order to obtain the right data. Not all topics require the same type of data. Some need qualitative, others can be quantitative. Formulate a hypothesis and the research variables. In this part of the proceedment, and based on the information that was previously found, the researcher has to create a possible solution to the situation in question. Select the research. Choose the type of approach needed during the experimentation phase. Select the sample. We can't do an experiment with all the people because not all of them are qualified to work with our topic. In this step, we must select the adequate persons to participate in our experiment. Collect data. The collection of data is a critical step in proving the information needed to answer the research question. Data can be collected in the form of words on a survey, with questionnaires, throughout observations, or from the literature. Analyze the data. With the data previously obtained, the research has to analyze the data depending on the type of research that was previously chosen, so that the research question can be answered. Present the results. This is the final step in which the researcher creates a document with the objectives, hypotheses, and other questions are solved. It also contains the researcher's final conclusion regarding the topic.
We can start by asking ourselves different questions. We can observe the environment and simple problems like contamination. How does contamination affect us? How can we stop it? How much contamination does car provoke? Are electric cars better for environment than regular cars? And if this is true, why is it that the majority of us buy regular cars? Our research problem will be what type of car contaminates more, regular cars or electric cars? Collect general information about regular and electric car fabrication, the materials that are used to build them, and the levels of contamination both of them produce. We can search in websites and some documentaries. For this research, we're going to need both quantitative and qualitative data, since we're going to investigate about levels of contamination, the number of regular and electric cars that are being used each year here in Mexico, but also we want to know why the one car contaminates more than the other. What are the characteristics that make them harmful to the environment? Based on the information that we obtain, we believe that regular cars contaminate more than electric cars, because since electric cars don't use gasoline, regular cars are more likely to leak this substance to the ground and contaminate our environment. For this step, we're going to use two different approaches. One will be the interview, and the second one will be the comparison of participant groups. Our sample will be centered around people who knows about this topic and are familiar with how a car works. This is why we would like to make an interview to some mechanics who can explain us the main failures of regular and electric cars. For the other sample, we will need two cars for our experiment. For our experiment, we need to compare the operation of both a regular and an electric car. We want to make the vehicles travel for 60 miles per hour, and after this, we will measure the amount of fluids and gases that were leaked from the car. To analyze this data, we'll interpret the quantitative information that was obtained through the experiment and compare the final results, and we'll also add the information that was provided through the interviews by the mechanics. In the final paper, we'll include the answers to the questions that were made through the process, all our sources, the type of research we used, the questions from our interview, the way our experiment was made, and our final conclusion, where we prove or disprove our initial hypothesis.